Hi everyone, I'm Amanda Pearson, and today I'm joined by the visionary leaders behind the Perry Hotel Naples. Michael Raymond, CEO and President of the hotel and Managing Director of FOD Capital, and Matthew Strunk, General Manager and CFO of FOD Capital. Welcome to your hotel.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having me.
Right back at you.
We've had a chance to talk a little bit before the interview, and I'm excited to finally be able to dive into some of these questions because I have so much to learn. And the first thing that I wanted to ask you about was your vision and inspiration for starting the Perry Hotel Naples.
Well, let me start, and Matt's going to fill in the holes for me. But, the vision, I think you have to really get back to, 1.0. This is 2.0 for us. So 1.0 was created in Key West, Florida. It actually started off as a huge marina development. We hadn't really thought about a hotel at that time. So in 2006, Matt was partnered up with some folks, and I was involved on the money side, and we came together and we began to really turn over what was then a sort of a dilapidated commercial fishing village, shrimping village. It had bay bottom, and it had some, shacks and, other, nefarious things on top of the land. And, we looked at it and we said, boy, this is a dump, but it's got potential.
You're being kind.
I can see it now.
This is a dump, but you got to look past the dump and get to the, what's the potential. So we began a land acquisition, 28 separate parcel acquisitions, I believe, and took us several years to basically make that all happen. And we built out the marina, which was very unique. It's a deep bay bottom marina, which means you can attract a lot of large yachts. And that was the objective, was to bring in the large yacht activity from, say, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, down to Key West. So anyway, that was it. And we had a modest commercial development, and we're looking at a parcel of land there. And we said, we got to think about something that might be more of an adjunct to the marina. And we began to think about, well, let's maybe design and build a hotel. So we actually started the construction of 2015, 16, thereabouts. And in 2017, we opened up the Key West Perry Hotel. And that was the forerunner, the predecessor to this place. And so we can pick it up from there, but we basically, began with that. The same design team, the same construction team, and same architect that helped us with that. We poured it up here, and they helped us with this hotel. So that was the beginning of the Perry Hotel. The name Perry, which I know you're going to...
I was like, where did that come from?
So Matthew C. Perry, Commodore Matthew C. Perry, was the military founder of Key West, first planted the U.S. flag down there. And so we wanted to have some historical significance and some proximity to Key West. And so that's the genesis of the Perry name.
All right.
And, we kind of carried that over and brought it up to Naples. Matt, what did I miss?
Yeah, no, I think you captured everything. I would add that you had to have vision when you first saw the property down in Key West. But just like this property here, it kind of spoke to us. It kind of told us what it wanted. So down in Key West, we built a village. We started, small, and when we built up a marina village, and then the hotel added to it. We opened up in May 2017, and then September 2017, they had a nasty hurricane. Irma.
Yeah.
So we got trial by fire.
Yeah. So we've weathered a few storms, both metaphorically and literally, down in Key West. But through all of that, we've sort of learned, do's and don'ts, and we've tried to bring the best of the best here, leave the not so best behind, and that's what this hotel is all about.
So going off script here a little bit, I'd also just learned that you have, particularly Mike, you have a pretty strong connection to Naples, and it's pretty deep connection. And I thought that might be interesting to share.
Well, the connection goes back to my family that moved from Alabama down to here. My mother was a elementary school teacher. She actually, in the late 60s, early 70s, she tried to get a teaching job in Miami, if you can believe it, and there wasn't any positions available. So she came across the Everglades and found a position at Lake Park Elementary School. and taught there for 25 years. And you know, she many of her students became older, became parents, and their kids went to the same school. So a great memory is that she, you know, at her funeral, we had people that were paying their respects for both the parents and the kids that she had taught over that period of time, which was quite a testament to the impact that she made. But that was our connection with Naples.
Well, that's very special. I know, you know, Naples is, in some ways, we were talking about Long Island has what, 7 million people?
7 million people.
Right. So Collier County is a little smaller than that. And so I think that qualifies you as a longstanding local.
I'm going to go with that, yes, yeah.
So when it comes to the vision of what you started with Perry Hotel in Key West, how did you then bring that same vision, modify, maintain that as you developed Perry Hotel Naples?
So, you know, the theme behind the first hotel was we needed something that, you know, was conducive to, you know, the environment that we were building it in. And this was, Stock Island is sort of a blue collar industrial feel to it. Very unique because it's Key West, eclectic and yet industrial. So we tried to capture a lot of those themes in the design of the hotel. So if you look around the hotel, you'll see some, you know, some textures that bespeak kind of an industrial feel and yet modern sort of cool features to them. And so we brought those two together architecturally and design-wise, and you know, and it worked. It became a very memorable, won some awards and so on and so forth. Memorable and distinguishable hotel, so that you know, that we got the word of mouth visibility that we were looking for, and we've really kind of leveraged, you know, that into this. Now Naples is not the same environment, obviously, so we wanted something that was distinctive. It wasn't a flag, it wasn't, you know, a Marriott or Hyatt or Ritz, but still had the same level of quality or higher, and yet was distinctive in terms of the look and feel and experience for our guests. And so that's what we attempted to do with the overall design of this hotel.
Yeah, I think you summed it up well. I'll just add, in Key West, we built the hotel. The hotel lobby sits on the former fish house that was on that property. So that's some of the elements that Mike was talking about. It's, you know, there's a lot of concrete, there was a lot of metal, and we took that and added it into the hotel itself. We have a great team, as Mike mentioned, that we work with in Key West. We brought them up here. They work with us up here. Local in Key West, local in on the east coast of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
But they really helped us kind of see things and find those elements to add and just make things unique in the hotel.
Can't wait to see the Perry Hotel in Key West. I personally had no idea before today, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, it's a special place, as this is, and it will become.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this, but after interviewing Chef Dale Talday, I came in for my first time before that interview, and I, you know, had my own dinner there, and I was looking at the view. Oh my gosh, the best view I have ever seen in Naples. And I was like, I'm coming back here for my birthday. So
I'll bet you want to know about the origin of that view.
Let's talk about that. I do. I have to tell you.
Who's asking the question?
It's on social media all the time, whether it's myself or someone who was, I know that was just there last night. I mean, it's that view, it's that sunset, it's the reflection off the water. It's stunning. And we don't really have a lot of rooftop situations in Naples.
Exactly.
Which is a little ironic, but.
So that, again, along the lines of, you know, we want this to be, you know, differentiated. We want this to be something that people will talk about. We want it, most importantly, to be a destination, not just yet another hotel along US 41. So the origin of that view this was virgin property, never developed before. Dinosaurs used to roam this, and then it was us, okay? So we acquired the property, loved the waterfront along the Cocohatchee River, but we had to make a design decision, which was we had a 160 room allotment. Do we want to go, you know, more flattened out and get about 5 rooms up, or do we want to go up an extra 2 rooms and get to a 7th floor? And there's a distinction in terms of the code requirements once you go above 5 floors. So it was a cost benefit thing for us. So Matt and I said, well, we really can't get a sense of this unless we get up there. So we rented a lift, hydraulic lift, with a bucket about, the size of a desk. And Matt, myself, and our project manager got up in this lift, and we took a tape measure, and we dropped the tape measure down and measured 7 floors up just to get a sense of, okay, what's the view going to be like? Now, the slightly sad part of this is that it was a sort of a windy day. And Matt and I, we're up there in this bucket going back and forth.
With white knuckles.
White knuckles. And something you never want to hear out of somebody that's in a bucket that's operating the hydraulic lift as it's windy and he's turning sheet white and I'm about ready to jump over the edge, is from the project manager, I wonder what this button is for. No. True story, right? And so anyway, we were sold immediately that it was worth the extra 2 floors up to get the view. You could see the Gulf clearly, sunsets, everything else, and that's really what brought us here.
It was like Christmas morning. Once we got up there, we looked at it and we were just like, we all were speechless.
Yeah,
we were all just like,
this is it. You don't see that anywhere else. And, it's just amazing, jaw dropping.
It really is, and I many people, of course, in Naples love the Bay House, which is right next door, right. And many people know, next door that there was nothing happening there. So I know some people were a little, what are they going to do? What's going to be there? But boy, you really captured, because now you can enjoy the nature. I think more than the nature, you can enjoy nature more than anything else by being up there. It's spectacular, and I mean, I had to bring my parents over to see it. We had dinner and I said, you have to see this view. And, you're just there staring, and it's really unbelievable. So thank you for your commitment to your work. That's pretty unbelievable. I can't believe you did that.
Yeah.
That sounds terrifying and something that I would never do.
Well, we live to tell the stories.
Yeah. Thank you so much on behalf of all of us. Thank you. So how about the lifestyle that people can experience, whether they're staying at the hotel, coming here for a meal, coming in for some of the delicious coffee? What are some of the lifestyle features here?
I think continuing on the theme of the view, both Mike and I kayaked the Cocohatchee River. We were never on the river before. I'm not sure if I did it first or you did it first, but we both came back independently with the same feeling. Like, this is amazing. There's 1,000 acres of conservation land out there, of probably the most beautiful mangroves you're going to find in the United States. So it was just breathtaking. You're out there, there's dolphins, manatees, people fishing, the birds are just unbelievable. So I think that theme, we kept pulling that theme into the property and saying, this is great. And that's what helped us as we kind of defined the hotel.
So experience-wise, people come here and it's not just a room and an overnight and then you go down to Fifth Avenue and have restaurant or go to Mercado for shopping. It, in and of itself, is a destination. I mean, people can not only dine here at our world-class restaurants, but also, they can do water activities, a variety of water activities. They can hang out at the pool. We got other, sports. We got shuttles that can, get people to and from the beaches, both water shuttle as well as ground transportation shuttles. So we really wanted the hotel to be amenity rich and something that independent of everything else that's going on, which is very attractive. And we steer people to, surrounding Naples, but we wanted people to have the option of basically just hanging out and enjoying all of the amenities that we have here on property.
That's great. And you have not only the floor level pool, but then you have a rooftop pool as well. Again, something that the locals absolutely love. And I'm curious to know a little bit more about some of those outdoor activities. So what does that include? We've
got the free of charge. We have a beach shuttle that runs in season, roughly hourly. Basically runs out to Wiggins and Barefoot Beach, 2 of the most beautiful beaches, along the Naples waterfront, Fort Myers waterfront. And it runs out, takes, I think, up to 36 passengers at a time. Mm-hmm. We have paddleboard, we have kayaks, we have these things called go boats, which are little motorized saucers that you sit in and you steer your way down the river and back and the like. Those are brand new. So those are all the water activities. People can go out on chartered fishing. They can go out for sunset cruises. There's just a whole variety of, water-based activities that they can take part in. On property, we have entertainment, we have live music offerings. We have, we have some sport activities on property and the like. We have shopping even within the hotel. So it gives people, different interests. We're sitting in the library, which is a great place. It's sort of a tranquil place for people to get away and either read a book on our behalf, that's available to them, or they can bring their laptops in here and actually get some work done and the like. So we wanted to have all of those features available so that, all the guests that had those desires could satisfy them.
I love that. And as you're saying this, I'm thinking to myself that I'm sure it exists, but maybe you know better than I. I don't know if we have any other hotel in Naples on the water where you can truly go out and experience the beautiful mangroves and some of the backwater areas like that. So that is really special because I think it's most people maybe traveling to Naples think of us for the beaches and the beaches alone, but some of those backwater experiences are absolutely stunning and where you can see most of the wildlife and appreciate so much. So I love to know that you guys have that as a part of what people can experience here because it's very special.
Yeah. We look at it as it's really the journey, not the destination.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody can get to the beach, but it's how you get there from here. It's really special.
Right. And we have great captains on the boat. They're tour guides. They're just really full of knowledge of being on the water, and then they explain things to people, and they explain the mangroves and how important they are, to Naples as the rest of Florida.
In fact, we have a family of dolphins that, pretty much frequents the area. And on the 7th floor, especially the bartenders notice them as they're fishing out there and everything else. But they've started to name the dolphins. I believe one of them is called Perry, if I'm not mistaken. Oh. So anyway.
It's funny, whenever we see dolphins in Naples, locals, no matter what, bring out our phone. Look! As if it's the first dolphin we've ever seen.
Right.
It's like sunsets and dolphins and sea turtle. It just never gets old.
Exactly.
It's always magical.
I agree.
I'm going to have to, something that I like to do because Naples is special, right? And we have amazing hotels here. And I've just made another decision that I'm going to do my next staycation here because it's something that locals can enjoy. Just go right down the road, stay at these world-class hotels and experience some of this for yourself. Mm-hmm. Take advantage of that as a local. So how about the design elements here? They're different than what you have in Key West. They're different than what you might find at other hotels here locally. So what were some of the inspirations and ways that you came up with how you designed this hotel? It's beautiful.
Well, we used a lot of the design elements, the award-winning design elements that we had in Key West, and brought the best of that up here. The room designs are very, very similar. When you go and visit that hotel, you'll see the room designs are very similar. A lot of the amenities, the flooring, the bathrooms, the deck, and everything that you can experience. Those are all very similar. The lobby area carries somewhat similarity to what we had in Key West. Huge 30-foot lobby, with the metal and the concrete accents and, kind of working all the different textures. The background signage and all of that using anchors. Down in Key West, it's propellers, but, it's the same sort of nautical theme concept, again, consistent with the Perry brand. You also see some really modern elements like the coffee shop, which was specially designed and, it's something that has a wow factor and yet is very attractive and comfortable to, grab your coffee, which I hope you do, and sit down and sit there in the lobby area and just enjoy it or have breakfast, etc. So, those sorts of combinations of, old and new and, industrial and modern. I think you'll see that recurring throughout the entire hotel.
Yep. I think you summed it well, Mike.
Does that go for Tigris Hotel as well? Did you guys have the same design that went into the full hotel or did you do anything differently with Tigris, or was that a part of the complete concept?
Yeah, Tigris was a little bit of a different project, and I can get into the history of it. But Tigris is a Cantonese chop house. I can also talk about how that came to be. But the design of that it's called a jewel box design. Okay, so when you walk in the door, you get this sense of I'm in a life-size jewel box. And you can appreciate that when you go inside. The artwork, the textures, the lighting, the seating and everything. It's got a very unique sort of Asian thematic side to it, but it integrates that with Tigris. You'll see tiger themes throughout, and then that all kind of works into the cuisine that's served and everything else. But it is absolutely unique. It didn't have to be on a 7th floor and be as unique, but you couple that with the view that you get when you're sitting there, and it's a home run for us.
Yeah, on behalf of the locals, again, thank you for making it on the 7th floor. It's unbelievable. How did you come about meeting Chef Del Talde, and how did that come about?
Well, my son, who's Spencer Raymond, who's graduated from Michigan State in hospitality and did his apprenticeship and has been involved in restaurant development, concept developments, was involved very early on in helping us, to come up with the right concept. We did a lot of market research and determined that a Cantonese, Asian fusion sort of theme might work well in Naples. It was sort of underserved. So we went with that premise, and then we said, we really need to elevate this. We got to get this to a whole separate level, something that Naples hasn't necessarily seen before. And so he sought out Chef Talde, went up and visited his restaurant, Goose Feather, in New York, and was immediately sold in terms of the cuisine, the ambiance that he's created up there, the execution, the service, and so on and so forth. And we said, well, maybe we can kind of bring that down. So we partnered with Chef Del Talde as a result of that, and the two of them collaborated in terms of menu design, the final finishings on the restaurant, the outdoor bar, Easy Tiger, and ultimately, that collaboration created Tigris and what we think is going to be a really winning formula for Naples. It's just exciting to see the visibility that Chef Del Talde, and I know we've done a separate segment on his background, but his competitions and Top Chef and things like that, and his TV shows and everything like that is, again, something that you can't necessarily always bring to a restaurant. We were pretty fortunate to have him join us and partner with us in this endeavor.
Well, that's great. I have a little way that I measure the success of how things are going with businesses in various industries. And I was there probably on a Wednesday in July, and it was bumping. You had the bar was full, every table, not too crazy, not too much, but it was very active. And so off season in Naples to have that I can only imagine what season's going to be like again for you guys. So congratulations on all that success. It's fantastic. So Matt, what about how would you describe what sets the Perry Hotel Naples apart from any of our other hotels here in Naples?
I would say it would be our team, the team members. You come into the lobby, the first thing you're going to see is Amy's smiling face. You're going to see Peggy. You're going to see Matt A. They're just warm, welcoming people. Hospitality is in their blood, and you can see it, feel it. And similar like with Dale, I think at the end of the day, when we met Dale, or I've met Dale, there was a connection there. We're like, some people are just right. It's just right for the hotel, and some people aren't. But when it's hard to find them, and when you do, you kind of know it right away. That connection is there. And it's the same thing with our team members. We took a lot of time to really explore to find the best people we can. And some of them come from different backgrounds, and we come from different backgrounds. Hospitality is not the first thing I did, out of college. And I think that gives us different experiences, and that experiences kind of comes through to our guests. And that, I would say, number one is the team.
which is, good talent is hard to come by, first of all. And having experienced that myself here at this hotel, I can sincerely vouch for our own service at Tigress and anywhere was exceptional. I mean, to the point where my family and I were talking about it. Wow, she's really good. So that's what people come back for. So kudos on that as well. So what's next? What's next at Perry Hotel Atlanta? Perry, what are we doing? Are we growing? Is
Let's
this
go,
it?
Mike.
Yeah, go time.
Let's go.
Well,
Italy. Can we do that? I'll do the interview there too.
In Italy, you said? Oh, okay. All right. Well, that gives us some competition, but maybe not Cantonese. I don't know. Well, look, truth be told, we were more than complacent in operating the Key West Hotel, and actually did not have designs to expand the brand in Naples until a local hotelier came down, stayed at the Perry Hotel in Key West, and said, I've got a very unique piece of property. I'd like to have you guys come up, take a look at it, and think about maybe constructing a hotel like this, because I think it'd be perfect. And we were like, yeah, okay, another guy's pitching us, whatever. So we came up and we did our research. We fell, immediately in love with the location and the possibility. And then, that was an endeavor that, we started roughly, 4 years ago, maybe. And it took a while, it took almost 2 years to basically just get the pre-development work, the infrastructure, before there was even sticks in the air. And so quite a long gestation
And a little
period.
thing called COVID got in the way.
It was COVID, and, we
A
had
couple hurricanes,
a couple setbacks. But, having said, all of that, we were certainly committed at that point, and said, let's do this right. So we went with Perry 2.0, and we don't have necessarily designs on a Perry 3.0. We've been approached by a number of people. We haven't, eliminated that as a possibility, but for now, we're pretty focused on, we're just going to execute to the highest level we can here, create something memorable, certainly sustainable, and, we'll see what tomorrow brings.
That's great. I know that Chef Talde was talking about all of the new concepts and things that people can experience, even just within this hotel, to look forward to. So there's plenty to look forward to here at the Perry Hotel. And if people haven't come to visit yet, local, non-local, it's worth it. And I'm so grateful. What about let's say that someone is coming for the first time. What would you say that they can experience? What can they expect? They're coming for the first time. What's that experience that you would tell them? Why should they come? What are they going to feel? What are they going to experience?
Why don't you start off?
Yeah, so I think the first thing they should do is come in, settle down, have a cup of coffee, get checked in, go talk to the concierge or the front desk, either one. They'll give them great ideas. I think they should make dinner reservations up at Tigress. I think they should, with the concierge, they should set up getting out and going on the water shuttle down to the beach. I think that would be the first thing that I would do, is get on the water and just experience that. But there's so many things to do in Naples. It's just amazing. And I think that's why we're really excited for our repeat guests, who are going to come back and keep experiencing different things. And that's what we love, and, we want them to enjoy.
Yeah, I think, look, it almost kind of takes over once you're in the doors, right? People will figure out what excites them the most, whether it's a quick look at the, a shopping opportunity, or it's a coffee shop, or it's the bodega bar, which is poolside, sitting out there and just taking in, the water views and everything, or the spectacular views on 7, and just enjoying that, either the 7th floor rooftop pool, or, sitting at the bar and having a cocktail, whatever. People tend to kind of figure that out. A lot of people end up in this library. They just like to, kick back and enjoy themselves, and, say, wow, this is pretty unique. And so we don't necessarily, arm twist people in certain directions. It's like, it's sort of like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. So we think we've built it. And
It's unscripted.
Yeah.
Unscripted.
And we think people
Fun.
are coming.
That's funny. That's the exact quote that I said to Chef Talde is, if you build it, they will come. And So kind of wrapping it all up for me as a local, I know that when it comes to new construction or high rises or development overall, sometimes people in Naples are, what's it going to be? What's it going to look like? How tall is it going to be? Will it fit in our culture? What is this, right? And I can sincerely say that you guys figured it out and you did it so well. You combined the appreciation of Naples, environment and how to experience that, which is very unique. You brought in a different kind of restaurant that is not anything that you can find here. You've got excellent service. It's very casual. It's very warm. Everything about it for me is a 10 out of 10. And, so thank you for that, because it's not only the people that you're attracting here from out of Naples, but it's the people here in Naples that are certainly going to appreciate it. And you've opened up your doors to the local community, which is appreciated by all of us as well. So I have one more question to ask you, which is about high season 2026. What do we need to talk about there? High season 2026.
Well, it's all about momentum. And we think 2025 has been a year of foundation for us. It's certainly about brand development in a Naples market. It's about, making sure that the word of mouth starts to exponentially compound, which we're starting to see. We're already seeing advanced reservations in the high season where people are saying, I was there or I saw it or I had dinner there. I got to come back. And we think that there's a lot of that magnetism is going to carry over into 26. We've also been attracting a number of groups. Some wedding parties, some corporate events and things like that. And so we've got a nice combination of group and event-based, guest traffic coupled with, the normal tourism and everything else. And we're looking forward to really just a booming 2026 season for ourselves. And we think that, as I said, everything that we've done this year has been kind of preparatory to lay the foundation for us to just springboard into really, one of the most recognizable hospitality venues in the Naples market. Absolutely. Yeah, I know as I was making my first reservation, I looked and I kept clicking the days. Oh, full. Well, all right, we're going in April. That's fine. But that's good. That's great. I mean, you guys had a fantastic opening. I remember before it was even open, kudos to your marketing team, because I was like, what is this Perry Hotel? It was noticeable before the doors even opened. And so I know for a fact you guys will continue with that. And I would just encourage anybody who wants to enjoy to book early now. Definitely do that.
Book your reservation.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely do that. So gentlemen, it was an absolute pleasure to talk today. Thanks so much for your time and for all that you're doing for our community. Thank you also for your connection to the local community. I can see that you guys, do care about that. That's important to not only me, but I know important to so many. So thank you for that as well. Good. And for our viewers today, whether you're just planning a stay or just stopping by for a cocktail, come and experience Paradise for yourself. See you soon at the Perry Hotel Naples.